Okay, here we go. Making paintings. We're gonna start with the egg. I'm gonna use blue to start, ultramarine, just so you can see a little bit better. I like to use a big brush. So, you can't see my egg, but you can see my paper, and I can see the egg. So what I'm gonna do is just lock it in nice and thin paint and just get some of those basic shapes down. You can see in the photo of the egg that I am using a little piece of kneaded eraser to keep it held upright. It's generally a helpful tool. And again, I'm looking for those shapes and I'm moving real fast, adding lots of water, nice thin paint. I'm going to acknowledge that there's kneaded eraser down underneath there. I think it's helpful, and just for the sake of fun, I'll acknowledge the leg of the tripod. I'm going to be moving a lot faster through this, so you don't have to, watch half an hour of me painting an egg, but you'll get the general gist of what I'm looking for. As the water is drying down, you can get wet on wet techniques and start establishing some of those darks. I promise I won't sing too much during these, but I do talk to my paintings quite a bit in the privacy of my own studio. Hello, little buddy. You can see right in here how I've left the paint, or no paint, I've left the piece of paper dry. That's going to be where the highlight is. The white of the paper can be your best friend in establishing highlights. There's also a crease in the paper, as you can see in the picture, so I'm just going to acknowledge that. Happy little crease. Not Bob Ross. You want to establish some architecture and structure so you just don't have floating orbs in space. I get floating orbs every term and they're kind of neat, but they don't look like anything except weird balls of color. Oh geez. Now, it's gonna have to dry periodically in order to get more detail. So, I am going to grab a little rag to speed up the process. Unfortunately, if you just let it dry, naturally you're gonna get better pigmentation. But for the sake of this tutorial, just dab it with a rag and then come back in. On the egg you can see some highlights. You get strong definition by two values clashing. So I will establish this value along the shadow to pop the egg forward. Now there's a band because of the tripod that kind of sits over the egg, so there's going to be a shadow there, and it kind of comes. Do, do, do. I got into steamed eggs recently. It's the best way to cook an egg if you have a bamboo or steamer basket. In case you woke up this morning and said, how should I cook my eggs? Now, just for the sake of the picture, I'm going to just establish a little bit of color around here too. Partially because you can bring it right up to the edge and get a little bit of that highlight in there. And then we'll thin it out. It's just going to give a little bit of more life to the image. I want to establish that crease again, so I'm going to keep hammering that line. Now what you're starting to see as it dries down, the pigment of the paint runs to the edges and it establishes these hard lines. If you do not like them, you can take a clean brush and feather them. I don't love this shadow. Do. Wow! Getting a lot of insight into my studio practice, the whoops and hollers. And you're starting to see an egg develop in there. Obviously this isn't a 15 to 30 minute painting, so it's not going to be as good as yours, but you get the general idea of what I'm looking for. Happy painting. I wish you the best. Email me if you have questions.